Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thanks for joining me here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice. Thank you for joining us here. Every Monday, I am live with you guys here on YouTube. I appreciate you being here. It's a lot of fun, and we're here to talk Royal Caribbean, answer your cruise questions, and it's all happening right here. And we're going to get a lot of questions today. But the most important question is how many days until your next Royal Caribbean cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let's count down together. Archie the Archie is here from Arkansas. Hello, Archie. Good to see you. I see Steve Clem is here. Jan Carlos, welcome. Susan Westfall checking in as well. We've got Larry Lundquist. Hello. Kim Murphy. Hello. Queet Pete. Welcome. Kathy. James McCaffrey. Nice. I've got my countdown 47 days till Adventure of the Seas out of Nassau. I got to tell you guys, it is so exciting to have a countdown for a cruise again, and it's going to happen. Oh, I couldn't be happier. Kelly Hardy from MEI Travel checking in. Hello, Kelly. Good to see you. Josh Carruthers in the house, also sailing in 47 more days. Love it. Terry Morgan, how are you, Terry? Welcome. Good to have you here. Sherry is here as well. Sherry from Awesome Sunsets. Hello, Sherry. Rebecca Wells, September 12th. Mystery Shadow, I never get to cruise. Eventually, I think we're all going to get a chance to cruise, and it's going to be sooner than you think. So, Andy Unwin says, Andy and Cheryl checking in from Sarasota. A very good evening to one and all. 4 nights on Navigator in 154 days, thanks to Kelly Hardy. Awesome. Fantastic news. Mike Pastore in the house. 209 days till the Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise. Yes. November. Can't wait for that. Keith Bruce. What's up, Keith? Welcome. Now, of course, guys, we're here to answer your cruise questions. So feel free to type your questions in chat. We will count down together. Why am I wearing my headphones? I'm not talking to anybody. I'm talking to you guys, but I don't need my headphones. I just had them on before, and I completely forgot. So, got to, whoa! We got, what is going on? We have, 3 Super Chats coming in a row. Brandon Hilliard from Onboard Odyssey of the Seas. Brandon, you might be the first person to ever check in from Onboard Odyssey of the Seas in my YouTube Live. Welcome, Brandon. Glad to have you here. Josh Carruthers with the Super Chat. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that, buddy. Interesting check-in process for Adventure of the Seas. Yeah. Actually, let me hold on a second, Josh. Brandon, where are you on Odyssey? Where on the ship are you? And Josh is talking about a brand new blog post I just shared at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com this evening about the check-in process on Adventure of the Seas. There's Josh right there. Oh, Josh. All right. I'm up behind, actually. Now I'm up to Mike. I'm so far behind. But yeah, Adventure of the Seas out of Nassau. You're gonna do the check-in in the British Colonial Hilton. They'll be doing the PCR test there. You can drop off your luggage early in the morning. I'm digging it, man. I like this idea. I think this is way better than what I feared was going to be, which was us sweating outside. Michael S. with the Super Chat. Sorry, Michael, I missed your Super Chat. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Hey, Matt, how many double points cruises do you have booked, and how many points will you gain? A lot. I think not every single cruise, but most of the cruises I have booked right now. As an example, Michael, let me give you just Adventure of the Seas, because I'm booked on Adventure of the Seas back-to-back in a suite. At the end of both sailings, Michael, I will walk away with, I believe, 50-something points. That's significant. Thank you for the Super Chat, Michael. And Archie the Archie with the Super Chat. Thank you, Archie. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Becky Menken from MEI Travel is here. Hello, Becky. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. Just catching up with the chat. PSC Gaming, is there any timeline for the return of Oasis or Mariner? Unfortunately, not PSC. Essentially, like the rest of the fleet, we're all still waiting to hear when cruises out of the U.S. will be able to restart. So, Ben wants to know, how are my Flowrider skills? Non-existent, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Becky Menken moved her hotel reservation to the British Colonial. Yes, I mean, I thought about that. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to get there, but at least you won't have to worry about a taxi that morning. You can go just downstairs, drop off your luggage. Good to go. Nice. Sharon Stockman with the Super Chat. Thank you, Sharon. I do appreciate that. Very, very kind. Thank you. Nick from Singapore checking in. Can't wait to cruise on Quantum of the Seas. 8 more days. Plan to book Wonder of the Seas while on board. Nice. Nick, which type of itinerary are you thinking about booking for Wonder of the Seas? Axel, is it true that roller caribbean ships are staffing it up for July? It's not exactly sure, Axel. At least not for ships that aren't among the 5 ships that will restart cruises this summer. Because don't forget, Axel, you've got Royal Caribbean has to staff up those ships first, right? Adventure, Vision, Jewel, Anthem, and Odyssey of the Seas, right? So you certainly on social media, you'll see posts from certain crew members who might say, oh, we're on our way to get, signed back up. But that may not be for other ships, just those 5 I mentioned over there. Pam Curtis Davey with the super chat. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate that. Thank you. Archie says, does anyone know what the big white balls are on the top of the ships around the pool? Are they some sort of randomes? I think they're radar domes, yeah. They're essentially for communication and satellite navigation, things of that nature. Depends on which one there is. There's also the other one, there's one that looks like it's a spear, like you could shoot it. It's not for that. It's for an emergency situation kind of thing. Not to kill somebody, but to safely get people off the ship. And we have an epic super chat coming in. Jeff Leonard. Woo! Jeff with the epic super chat. Thank you, Jeff. I think I booked a cruise that will actually happen Sydney to Honolulu in April of 2023. My friend, I got to think you've got an excellent chance of that cruise happening. I mean, 2023, we're talking now. You're exactly 2 years away. No, yes, I can do math, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years away from your cruise. I would say the odds of probability are greatly in your favor, I gotta say. Andy says, is it true that Royal Caribbean has a meteorology department constantly monitoring adverse weather and providing advisories to captains? It is indeed, yes. James Van Fleet is Royal Caribbean's chief meteorologist. It is his job to literally do that, monitor the weather. I mean, I would say it's not 24/7, but James is online 24/7. You can check Twitter at any given day or night, any time of day or night. He's online. They keep track of those kinds of things during hurricane season. That's their busy season. They're keeping track of those things. So absolutely, it is very, very true. Brandon with another super chat. Odyssey is off the coast of Cyprus, finishing up our 14-day quarantine. Awesome. But Brandon, where are you on the ship? Are you in your room? Are you on the pool deck? I want to visualize where you are so that I can get even more jealous of the fact you're on the ship. Katie Townsend with the super chat. Katie says, see you on Adventure of the Seas in 54 days. Yes, the June 19th sailing. Can't wait for that one. Nice. Mr. Shadow, giant golf balls, duh. Mike Ferrone says, May 7th is my final payment date for my August cruise. What should I do? Mike, my advice to you is simple. If you close your eyes, unless you're driving, do not close your eyes if you're driving. But if you're not driving and you can safely close your eyes and say, self, if this cruise were to happen, would I want to go on it? If the answer is yes, then make final payment. If it's more like, I don't know, I'm not sure, or no, then don't make final payment. So, yeah, Axel, James Van Fleet does a great job with his broadcasts. He's an amazing guy. I have had the pleasure of meeting James Van Fleet a couple of years ago during one of the press events on board a Royal Caribbean ship, and he is exactly like he is online and on broadcast in person. Probably actually amplified even more. He's got so much energy. I don't think you could ever actually tell him, sit here for 5 minutes and don't do or say anything. I don't think it's possible for him to do that. He's got so much energy, so much enthusiasm. He's a great guy. Yeah. Broderick says, no, the Sydney-Hawaii cruise is April 22, only 1 year away. I've been booked on that cruise. Well, it's entirely possible there's 2 of them, Broderick, right? Or I don't know, I guess that's a question for Jeff more than for me. I'm just going off what you guys wrote. PSC, my friend has major motion sickness, even though the size of the ships make it hard to notice. What do you suggest to help with that? Over-the-counter medication. If I was him or her, I would recommend talking with their physician, getting the behind-the-ear patch. I believe it's called pronounced scalopamine or something like that. It's SCALOPMIN, something like that. It's behind the ear patch you can wear. That's what I would recommend. You have to get a prescription for your doctor. Easy to do, but your friend will put it on, and then that's it. You're good to go. Brandon says Odyssey has some of the best guest cabins I've ever seen in Royal Caribbean's fleet. Wow, nice. Nice. Jeff just made final payment for your July cruise. I hope you get to go on that because that would be fantastic if that was the case. Mike says James Van Fleet used to be our Tampa ABC channel weatherman. Yeah, he was in a couple different markets, Mike, right? But I remember Tampa. He loves Tampa. I mean, I know he's like an Oklahoma guy at heart, and he wears his cowboy boots around, and he says go Sooners all the time. But I think he really secretly loves Tampa more than anything. I think he's really like I think his heart says Tampa, his boots say Oklahoma. Melcaps, what do you think hello, Melanie. What do you think of the Broadway show will be on Odyssey of the Seas? Boy, that's a great question. You know, I might, you know, Mel, if this were price, I don't know. My gut tells me, Mel, like, I don't know if there will be one. I don't know, budget-wise, I'm not sure they can do it, but if I had to pick a show, part of it is knowing, like, you know, obviously there's certain restrictions in terms of you can't do certain shows because it has to be family friendly. There's budget concerns, so you're not going to do Hamilton. They can't afford to put Hamilton on there. You need to also make sure that the stage can handle it. Boy, and it's got to be obviously name notoriety. It's got to get someone. You don't want some people saying, "Who? What show is that?" It's got to be something kind of. I'm going to say that they love Andrew Lloyd Webber, and they're going to go back to the well again, Melanie, and they're going to get either Les Mis or Miss Saigon. One of those. I gave you two, but another Andrew Lloyd Webber show. That'd be my guess. I have nothing to base that on. Just pure guess. Slanglier, with sailings only booking at 50%, still not being sold out, how many cabins do they need to make it worthwhile? Could that be a barrier to those happening on adventure? No, the issue is when you say make it worthwhile, I think you mean like financially. This is less about maximizing profit as it is just simply getting ships back out there again. You're right. Number one, ships can break even without filling the ship up. It certainly maximizes revenue to have it filled up, but very early on in the shutdown, there was an earnings call with the Royal Caribbean Group executives, and their chief financial officer said that the bigger ships actually break even at a lower capacity than some of the older ships that are out there and smaller ships. So we don't know the exact numbers, obviously, but I think it's still to their advantage, still to their benefit to offer those. Fred Parker, we would like to join a group cruise. Any plans for 2022? If not, what would you recommend in 2022? There will be group cruises in 2022, Fred. I am just waiting for there to be really firm information on which sailings will be happening. Because, Fred, I want to pick another group cruise to do in 2022. Actually, there'll be two of them at least. Two? That's three. That's two. To pick two of them to do in 2023, but 2022. Boy. It seems like I've not been drinking anything, by the way. This is just, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I want to make sure whatever cruise that I pick is going to happen. I don't want to be like, hey, Fred, are you excited for the group cruise? And then we have to cancel it, or Royal Caribbean cancels it because of, you know, obviously everything going on there. Mary, does Adventure of the Seas sail at capacity? No, it'll probably be around 50 to 60% capacity, at least initially. That may ramp up from there, but when cruises resume in June, expect them at 50 to 60%. Mark Hamill, thoughts on booking air through Royal Caribbean for our 14-night Barbados trip? I would absolutely recommend it, Mark. I'm a believer now in booking airfare through Royal Caribbean, air to sea program. I love it, Mark. Number one, when you book your airfare, if it's your before final payment date, you don't pay anything for the airfare until final payment date. Then up to that point, the airfare is still refundable. If obviously Royal Caribbean cancels the cruise, they cancel the airfare for you for a cash refund. That's pretty significant. I really, really like that stuff. So those are the reasons why I absolutely recommend it. Hey, Joe Mock is here. Welcome. Nick, Hooked Seafood, how do they charge? Is it like chops? It's a cover charge. Yep. So it's a cover charge at Hooked, and you eat as you go. Susan Dykeman says, did Grandeur of the Seas ever get an amplification that was scheduled for last year? She was never going to get amplified, Susan. Amplifications were not for Vision class ships. They were for Voyager, Freedom, and some Oasis class ships. Every 5 years or so, every ship gets dry dock work. Maybe that's what you're referring to. In that case, yes, they did. They have to keep the ships maintained. As an example, Anthem of the Seas was just in France a little while ago getting upgrades, but not like, hey, new water slides upgrades, just like maintenance, like bring your car in for an oil change. They have to keep up with that. Yeah, Adriana, you're not wrong about eating. There are very homeopathic treatments as well for seasickness, like eating green apple, foods with ginger in them. But personally prefer just take like a Bonine or recommend the patch. But there are many approaches to managing seasickness. Archie says patches end up making my Pat's great aunt do some crazy stuff. Weird. I mean, everyone. That's why you gotta have the conversation with your doctor, obviously, right? And the other good idea is to test it out at home before the cruise. Dana says I was booked on a trip on Liberty out of Galveston. Any word if this is going to have Broadway at sea? Yeah, Liberty at the Seas already has had and will have Saturday Night Fever, the Broadway musical. So you're good to go. Les Mis and Miss Saigon are not Weber shows? Yes, they are. Those are Angela Lloyd Webber. I'm not someone back me up on this one. That those are Angela Lloyd Webber shows, right? Like 99.99% sure on that. Patrick is here. Patrick Ledbetter. Hello, Patrick. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Richard, do all Johnny Rockets serve complimentary breakfast? No, only ones on Oasis class ships. Every time I share that secret, by the way, that you can have complimentary Johnny Rockets for breakfast on Oasis class ships, somebody always responds in the comments, Matt, stop sharing all our secrets. Like that one is definitely like people don't know about that, and they get really upset when I share that. Pam says, do we book air to sea through our MEI travel agent or call direct? Either or. You can do it on your own, or you can call your agent and have them do it for you. It's up to you, whatever you prefer. I've done it on my own, but the agent can do it for you as well. But just honestly, Pam, it depends on what you prefer. Yeah, Rich O from MEI Travel. What's up, Rich? Ginger works very well for his wife. Awesome. Theresa Miller believes chewable ginger tabs. Yeah, there's a lot of treatments for it. I'm not sure you could really test that at home other than like doing donuts in your car or renting a boat on a lake, but yeah. Yeah, Susan, did Explorer get the amplification yet? The answer is still the same I gave you before, minus the whole vision class nonsense. Susan, no worries. Explorer did not get amplified like with upgrades and water slides. No upgrades happen on any Royal Caribbean ship since the shutdown. What they have done, though, on Explorer of the Seas is the maintenance work, right? That did occur because they have to have that. So, yeah, hope that makes sense. Dave Lucas, well, this explains why I couldn't find you on the Facebook live stream. Yeah, I know for you guys, I was going to make fun of you, Dave, and then you're in Australia. Today is Tuesday for you, but it's still Monday over here. Hence, over here. Yeah. Let's see here. Doug says, sorry, Matt, but Les Mis and Miss Saigon are not Weber? I'm going to get my wife in here. You guys can fight with her. Holy moly, Kim Oakland with an epic super chat. Woo! Wow, Kim, thank you. Is the Cruise with Confidence program still canceled up to 48 hours before sailing? Yes. And I swear by Bonine for motion tickets along with ginger gum. I'm a big believer in Bonine as well. Yeah. So as long as you have your cruise booked under Cruise with Confidence, Kim, so basically you have your cruise booked, when you do have booked, you're good to go. So if Royal Caribbean doesn't extend Cruise with Confidence, it still applies to your sailing. That's how the program works, essentially, as I understand it. Patrick says, any thoughts on the Cruise Act after the objection to the unanimous by Patty Murray? So Patrick's talking about, it's a good question, Patrick. Patrick is talking about the bill, that Senate bill that was introduced a couple weeks ago by Florida senators and the senator from Alaska, Sullivan, I believe. And basically, they tried to push the bill through faster. There's a process. I don't know the words. I apologize. But in the Senate, you can fast track a bill to get it through a little faster. That did not work. Here's what I say, Patrick. I've always thought from the get-go, the lawsuits and the bills will not actually do anything in the sense like they're not going to be the silver bullet. But Patrick, I do believe they are going to have an ancillary effect that's arguably just as important. And that is they are bringing high profile pressure on the federal government to get cruises going. Again, I don't think that there's one silver bullet approach that's going to say, at the CDC, say, you know what, we got to do this. We got to change it. I think instead it's all about pressure. It's all about keeping this in focus in the mainstream. And I believe firmly that will be, I think, the best effect out of it rather than a bill or anything else going forward. I was upset that Senator Murray, cited the need for protocols, clearly showing her ignorance of the fact that there are actually very well publicized protocols and policies the cruise lines have proposed that are above and beyond any other form of leisure travel out there to make cruises safe. But, they didn't invite me to go talk to her, and I was on the Senate floor, so here I am. But, yeah. Nancy Bakers, regarding musical shows, why not bring back shows like South Pacific, My Fair Lady, Finian's Rainbow? I love those. Listen, I love My Fair Lady. I haven't seen South Pacific in a really long time, but I would be all for that, Nancy. And honestly, those shows would be cheaper than some of the shows that are still on Broadway currently. It's as I've had it described to me from Royal Caribbean, essentially, Broadway shows are kind of like, there's almost like a catalog. Not really, but essentially, any show can be had for the right price, but that's just it. Mark the Shark is here. Hello, Mark. Good to see you. PSC Gaming, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that. Very kind of you to say. Fred Parker, if I may ask, what are you thinking for a 2002 group cruise? I know you meant 22. Sorry, I gotta make the joke there, Fred, for the typo. I really don't know, Fred. Honestly, what I'm looking for is what's going to be available to sail. Like in a normal year, Fred, if this wasn't COVID, I might be sitting here, Fred, and telling you, boy, I'd love to do this bucket list cruise or this ship that got amplified, right? At this point, though, Fred, I am looking at what is actually going to sail, and let's go on that. That's my priority at this point. How about Pulp Fiction, the musical? I agree, Queep Pete. The cruise line protocols are above and beyond what is certainly being proposed. I mean, every time the CDC puts out any kind of recommendation or technical instruction update, every time it's like, okay, the cruise lines already agreed to do this like months ago, Christine Lerman, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Thanks for keeping Thanks for keeping us up to date. Can't wait to start cruising again. Thank you, Christine. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you. And my pleasure, of course. I do appreciate the generosity. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. I appreciate it very much, Christine. Thank you. Mike Pastore, group cruise out of Nassau. Listen, things keep up this way. You never know, my friend. But I am so excited for that cruise out of Nassau and Adventure of the Seas. Mark, is Royal Caribbean offering hotels to book in Barbados before your cruise, or do you have to find one on your own? I believe they are offering them in Barbados, Mark. I didn't book one through them, but I believe there is an option, or at least they'll point you in the right direction of some. I remember when they announced the Barbados cruises, there was some indications to the travel agents that there'd be an option there. Patrick, you're booked for the first two cruises out of Nassau, right? Back to back, same stateroom? Yes, and yes to all your questions. Can't wait. Terry, is that water or Kraken? It is water. If I had Kraken, well, I might enjoy it a little bit more. There'd be a lot more hiccuping, and I would not be as coherent as I sort of am. Kelly Hardy says, I flew to New York and New Jersey last week, and every time I walked down the jetway, I had to hold back my snarky comment about jetways versus gangways. Oh, God. Don't get me started on that. I know exactly what you mean. Keaton McDermott. Hey there, could you answer this question? Say I'm on a ship like Vision of the Seas. I've never been on any Royal Caribbean cruise before. Would purchasing specialty dining give me access to all the food places? Yes, essentially, or at least most of them. There are a couple exceptions, Keaton. The chef's table is the most notable one, along with room service. But yes, Keaton, if you were on a Vision of the Seas, then they have a Chops Grill or a Giovanni's table or an Izumi to eat at, then depending on your dining package would include those restaurants as part of that. My advice, since it sounds like it's your first cruise, and if you're doing a 7-nighter, my advice, Keaton, is do the 3-night dining package. That way, you can do a couple nights in the main dining room, you can do a couple nights in the specialty dining, and then figure out what you're looking for, what you want to do. Church Planting Catalyst, secret menu in the main dining room. What item should I try? Indian curry. I love Indian curry. Well worth it. Cat Sam, if you get the key program on Royal Caribbean, do you have to purchase it for the entire cruise, or can you pick and choose days? It's for the entire cruise. You got to buy it before the cruise, Cat. Can't wait to book it on board. And it has to be for the entire duration and for everybody in your room. You can't leave out your husband, your brother, your kids, whatever. So, yeah. Stacey Lamp, how long is the double point program going for? I believe it. You have to book it by June, and it goes through September of 2022. Originally, it was only for 2021 cruises, but obviously with the cancellations after cancellations after cancellations, Royal Caribbean's pushed that back a little bit. Rich, do you think Royal Caribbean will sail out of the Caribbean islands and Mexico on the West Coast? Oh, out of more Caribbean islands than Mexico on the West Coast. I mean, listen, Rich, anything's possible. Like I said, I've said this before. If you'd come in here the day before Royal Caribbean announced Adventure out of Nassau and said, Matt, do you think Adventure, any Royal Caribbean ship will ever sail out of Nassau, Bahamas? I would have laughed at you, sir. So I don't really know more than you do. But anything's possible. I wouldn't hold my breath for certainly not the West Coast. I think it's LA or bust in that regard. But California guys can dream. No question about it. So Martin Wildman, hello and welcome. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us here. Chris, new mic or is it repositioned? It's just repositioned, and I have a pop filter now. So it's the exact same mic I was using before. It's back there. I gotta get rid of it. Oh, you can see it. It's right there. It's the mic stand. I don't know why. I should have moved that before the stream. Anyway, that thing was annoying because while it's very portable, it's always in my way. This is now on an arm on my desk, so when I'm done with it, I can just move it out of the way, and then I got it back over here. So I like this a lot better. But it's the same mic. I got an arm for it to make it a little more functional. Queepy, is the key suspended? When do you think it'll resume? Yeah, I don't know. I have no update to share on that, Queepbeat. A lot of people have noticed that you can't book the key right now. I don't know if it's suspended, not being offered, going to be offered later. I think it's too early to know exactly. Brett Chafee, the happiest man in the world. Why is Brett the happiest man in the world? Not because he's going on a cruise, because he's not, but because the San Diego Padres took 3 out of 4 games from the LA Dodgers. And as a San Diego guy, Brett loves it, I'm sure. Brett, I hope you're wrong on 2022 and all scheduled cruises sail as scheduled. Oh, I absolutely agree, 100%, my friend. And I hope that I should quantify what I said earlier. I'm not saying that there aren't going to be any, but I just want to be, whatever we pick, I want to make sure it's safe. You know what I mean? I don't want to just book willy-nilly any 2022 cruise. That's kind of my thought process. I think realistically, they may not get back to the entire fleet restarting sailings until maybe the end of next year. That may mean 1 ship or 2 ships left out of the picture. So don't read too much into that prediction based on personal opinion. I just want to, again, make sure it's clear. I'm not saying there won't be any or some. It's just there's going to be some level of ambiguity, I think, still next year. Corey wants to know, do I think that July cruise will be canceled from Miami? Nobody knows, Corey. I hope for a miracle. I think every day we get closer to May, it gets less and less likely. The reason being is because even if the CDC said you can start cruising in July, the bigger issue is it takes time to get ships going again. That's the problem. Gabriela Marcano, what do you think are the chances of number 14 sailing from San Juan, Puerto Rico actually happening? Gabriela, it's a good question. Nobody knows. Unfortunately, no one really knows. It's kind of a wait and see. Holy moly! Gabriela, no one really knows. We have to wait and see what the CDC says. Basically, holy moly! Another epic super chat. Woo! Mr. Seahawks fan himself, 12th man proud, thinking about a 13-day cruise to Alaska, 7-day pre-cruise, 6-day on board. Does the 7-day pre-cruise count towards Crown Anchor points? It does, yes. And if so, and you have a suite, you get double points and quadruple in 22. I don't know how that works, honestly, for land tours. 12th man. It's a good question. But you do get points for land tours. It's something I always forget about. People ask me, Matt, how do I earn points for Royal Caribbean? It is a less than common way to earn them, but that is a way. And 12th man, my goodness, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. I appreciate it, and Becky Mencken appreciates you because you're a Seahawks fan, and you guys can pretend that Becky knows any player on the Seahawks right now. But I do appreciate it, 12th man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Patrick, did you notice the jump in the cost of the drink package? I'm booked on Adventure of the Seas, and the per-day rate for the drink Wi-Fi combo is about $20 a day higher than my last cruise in 2019. I mean, to some extent, yes. I mean, the pricing has always been, depends on the sailing, and over time, especially over year to year, there's been an increase in prices. But the other thing, Patrick, and I've noticed it, is that the price is also dependent very much on when a sale is. If there is, I think a tried and true rule about prices for things like drink packages It is you only buy you only buy them during a sale. Like I don't know a very good reason to book because there's so many pre-cruise sales these days. I don't know a good reason unless you just want to book. I mean, there is a good reason I can think about actually, but I'll get into that in a second. But generally speaking, when you just wait for the next sale, the price comes down a little bit or a lot, depends on the sailing, and then you book it there. Now, the only reason not to book it, as I was about to say, and book it immediately is sometimes the prices end up going up or there's a little bit of a gamesmanship with that. So there is actually a benefit to booking your drink packages as soon as you can if you know you want to get it. That's actually one of my best pieces of advice. But these days, I don't pay any attention to prices for things until there's a sale because I just think inevitably there's going to be one. Royal Caribbean has a cruise planner sale every couple of weeks, whether it's about every 3-4 months or so. So, Kenny K, I'm not sure if that's a serious question or not about the pre-cruise. All right, Becky knows one person on the Seahawks. Okay, they still have the same quarterback for the last 10 years, so she knows that. All right, so Tom who's got my back. Miss Saigon is a musical by that dude's name I can't pronounce. I love seeing Miss Saigon in Odyssey, especially seeing the helicopter scene in the theater. Hold on. I swear to God it is a Andrew Lloyd Webber. Or my wife just doesn't like it. Maybe I'm wrong. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good for the Matster. Doesn't look good for the Matster. Darn it! I was wrong! Alright, I apologize. You guys are right. I was wrong. Miss Saigon is not an Andrew Lloyd Webber show. My wife doesn't like Andrew Lloyd Webber. Sorry. And that's also on her list. But anyway, I was wrong. I learned something today. Thank you, Tom. Thank everybody else who corrected me on that one. So, Josh Lawson, you can buy a new mic. You don't like my mic? What's wrong with my microphone? Is it not good? Are you not hearing me? My levels look good on this end. You not like my microphone? Kurt, will they continue to have soft serve ice cream stations post-COVID? I believe so, yeah. I think it'll just be, I think it might be like full service, like you can't get it yourself, someone will give it to you. But absolutely, I can't imagine they'll be getting into that. Corey K, is Explorer the Seas a good first time? I booked it for next year. Yeah, it's a Voyager class ship. I love the Voyager class. I think it's a great choice for a first cruise. Absolutely. Corey, just be aware of what the ship offers and it doesn't offer. But yeah. Robert says, do you know why there are now taxes being added to shore excursions and packages? I've noticed that. Are you talking about the VAT, the value added tax, from the Bahamas? I do not know, Robert. I suspect it's a new deal they have with the Bahamas, but I really don't know the official answer as to that. But I've noticed that too, which is kind of weird. Hartswell Adventures, we're booked on June 19th sailing. I purchased the key for our group. It was only $1 more than internet and thought it was a good deal. At that price, when it's just like $1 more than an internet package, it's hard to argue the merits against it. I mean, you may know this already. I'm not a big fan of the key, but at that price, and if you were already going to buy the internet package, it's hard to overlook that, right? That's a great deal. No question about it. Sorry. Nick says, I missed Nick's. Nick's, where'd your question go, Nick? Thanks, Becky. I notice for post-COVID, no 70s or 50s party, captain welcome reception, and more. I'm not sure. Maybe that could be with the Singapore market. I'm not sure, Nick. That's a good question. I don't know the answer as to why or why not. Derek Damien says, my wife and I are booking an accessible room that Royal Caribbean is charging us $2,400. Look online for the same. September 21 balcony room invited for $1,800. Do you know why? Derek, are we talking about the same sailing or like, are you looking at the same sailing or a different sailing? If you're saying, Matt, I got like a quote from my travel agent and then I look online and it's $1,800, it might be very well because your travel agent is including port fees, taxes, gratuities, insurance perhaps, which are things that you may or may not want to get. Some of those you have no choice in getting. But in a lot of cases, if you just go straight to the web, until you get to the final part of the booking process, you will not see the total price there, Derek. Now, if you're saying Derek, or you're saying Matt, I have it for this sailing, it's this price, and this sailing, it's that price. That's apples and oranges. That's like booking airfare for, Easter week versus the week after. I mean, it's going to be completely different. So. Oh, Kenny K. No. That was a legit question. No. I'm being dead serious. So if you're booking a land tour, that is something in Alaska. They might offer it in Europe, but in Alaska, I know they offer it, Kenny. Royal Caribbean offers their own pre or post tours. Those do earn Crown and Anchor points. That's all through Royal Caribbean. Again, it's only offered in Alaska and I think maybe Europe. I'm not sure if they do that, but yeah. I sound great. Thank you. Appreciate it. I have the pop filter, so now my P's and B's don't sound... Here, you want to know the difference? Here's without it. So if I say P's and B's and T's, mostly P's and B's, do you hear that popping it's doing? Now when I talk like this, P's and B's and T's, you don't hear that popping as much. It's amazing what a thin piece of whatever material does the trick right there. Let's see. Jamie in the house. Better late than never. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you, buddy. So, Miss Saigon wouldn't be family friendly. Then there goes that suggestion. Shows you I don't really know much about those shows. Paul Somerville. Will there be enough supplies to start cruising? Hearing there are going to be wing shortages. Buffalo chicken wings. Not the buffalo wings. It's like, by the way, no offense, Paul. I love you, Paul. You're here all the time. So I hope you know I can joke with you a little bit. But... worrying about the buffalo wing supply is probably one of the most American things you could possibly be worried about. Like, I laugh because it's just like, it's such a like ubiquitously American thing. Anyway, I digress. I've not heard about that, Paul, but I think there'll be plenty of supplies. You will not go hungry on these summer cruises. I wouldn't worry about that in the least bit. Bryson wants to know, how does Royal Caribbean decide to do 3 and 4 night cruises versus 7 nights with like Navigator from LA? That's a good question, Bryson. I don't know the exact specifics. The 7-nighters are over holidays. So Royal Caribbean at least made that distinction that if they're doing if there's a holiday, Christmas, New Year's, President's Week, they're going to offer a 7-night cruise. I think to maximize the cost, the return on investment there, because holiday sailings always command a higher price. And if you can do it on a 7-night cruise, you'll make more money on that. Whereas during the rest of the year, Bryson, I think they're looking at the market and saying, I think 3 and 4-nighters will sell best over there. Let's see here. Brian F., are they asking for vaccinated people to cruise? Right now, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question here. For the summer cruises in 2021, outside of Singapore, you need, as an adults need to be vaccinated to go on those ships, the 5 ships that are sailing this summer. Did I answer your question? Just to be clear, are you saying that you get points if you book a hotel with Royal Caribbean a day? No. I'm talking about cruise tours, these land tours that are like, they're tours. They're not just hotels. They are guided tours through Alaska. If you book a hotel through Royal Caribbean, it's good for you, but you're not getting any extra points for that. Sorry for the confusion. Maybe that's what all that was going to be the issue right there. Phil, are you guys, I think you mean Royal Caribbean because I don't work for Royal Caribbean, going to do beer packages, and are you still going to be doing towel animals? There is an unlimited alcohol package. The beer package is gone. They haven't offered that in many years. But there is an unlimited alcohol package, yes. And towel animals, yes. I have no reason to believe that's going to be any different. So, Nanya Litz, new to your live shows, welcome. Just tell me, are we going to get cruising in the USA this year? I wish anybody in this stream could know that answer to that, Nanya. Nobody knows the answer. That is up to the CDC, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. They're the ones who hold the cards. Nobody knows because we don't have the insight into it. They're not saying. We simply don't know. Do I think in my heart of hearts there will be cruises this year from the U.S.? Yes. But listen, I think we all have learned at this point, you got to be a little, not pessimistic, but realistic about what's happening right now and the CDC just being the CDC and holding the cruise lines to a giant double standard. Tiffany Gore, did Royal Caribbean put the extension on the Galveston port on hold? No, but there is an update tomorrow. I believe they're having a meeting. The port of Galveston wharves. The project is a go. There's just some... I'll have an update for you tomorrow, Tiffany. How about that? But until that happens, it's not crystal clear what's going on there. I mean, they did start work actually on the site, but obviously with all this ambiguity going on with the CDC and when cruises can begin, it's hard to start paying for something that you're not sure you're actually going to need because you're being essentially your company's being held hostage by the CDC. I can't think of a nicer way to say that, but you know what I mean on that. MJ, good evening to you. Hope you and Sebastian are enjoying some Legos together. Archie wants to know, does Royal Caribbean do cruises to nowhere? In Singapore, they do. Yes. Not here in the U.S. That's illegal in the U.S., actually. But in certain markets like Singapore, they absolutely do that. So, hey, Mike Wolf with our next super chat. Thank you. I don't know what that means. It's lyrics to something. I don't know what that is, but thank you, Mike, for the super chat. No idea. Matt needs a new Magic 8 Ball. Never again. Tim Formation, what's up, dude? What is up with the Hilton in the Bahamas? Is that where we need to go before the ship in June? Yeah, so a couple things, Tim. Number one, this has not been announced by Royal Caribbean, so keep that in mind. Number two, I've confirmed it through outside sources, including the Port of Nassau, so I'm pretty sure they're down with this. But there's a new update I posted at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Here's how it is going to work. Keeping in mind, by the way, Tim, this could change, okay? But the plan right now for Royal Caribbean is for cruises on Adventure of the Seas out of Nassau, they'll be using the British Colonial Hilton as your check-in because there is no terminal in Nassau for cruise ships. And they obviously don't want to have you just lining up on the pier, while it's sunny and hot and you're sweating to death out there or it's raining, right? So what will happen is the terminal, the British Colonial Hilton will start allowing, you can drop off your luggage early in the morning. You'll have an assigned check-in time just like you would for a normal cruise. When you get there for your time, you will do the check-in process. You will get your test. You have to get a negative rapid test to pass that. And if you pass that test, then you're able to go on the ship. That's what they're basically using it as a staging ground, if that makes sense. And the more details about that at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Mike First says, is there going to be a group cruise from the Port of Los Angeles in November? No, unfortunately not. Number one, I have a lot of cruises already booked in November, including we have a group cruise in November already, but it's not on Navigator. It's on Harmony of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale Port Canaveral, wherever it's going out of. I don't even know anymore. It's on Harmony of the Seas. We're going on over Thanksgiving to the Caribbean. It's gonna be amazing. I can't cancel that, Mike, because my very good friend Mike Passeri would literally cry if I did that. Can't do that to the man. He's a good guy. So anyway, we're having that instead. But I do have a cruise booked on Navigator. It's not a group cruise. I don't even know if I'm going to go on it, but I have something booked just to hold something out there. Kathy L says, I need to hear yes, Oasis out of Bayonne. I wish I could give you that, Kathy. It would be mean of me to give you any kind of false hope. I just simply, nobody knows. That's the best answer I can give you. It's not good news. It's not bad news. Well, it's kind of bad, but it's not. I don't want to mislead you, So, yeah, Port Canaveral. Mike, I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking, what I was thinking of, Mike? I was thinking of Odyssey of the Seas out of Fort Lauderdale, which I am sailing also in November. So that's what I was thinking of. Brian Martinez, is there a list of the amplifications coming to Allure before it sets up home port in Galveston? No, because it was supposed to get a amplification. I mean, you can look up what it was supposed to get before, Brian, but there is no indication that Allure will actually get those upgrades by the time she arrives in Galveston. She was supposed to get it last summer, 2020, but that didn't happen because of COVID. So as a result, all the amplifications, all the upgrades are on hold until further notice. So if they do it, Brian, if they do it with the upgrades at some point between now and when she arrives in Galveston, there's no telling what they may or may not actually offer on there, or they may not do it at all. So yeah, I just want to paint the picture there. It's unclear what to expect, quite frankly. Noah, how big is Enchantment of the Seas? It's kind of a smaller Royal Caribbean ship. It's among the smallest, the Vision class. So I don't know exactly the sizes of it off the top of my head. I apologize. But it's one of the smaller Royal Caribbean ships out there. It's still big in the grand scheme of things, but relatively speaking. Mike, what ship do you prefer, Rhapsody or Brilliance? Rhapsody. I like the typo, by the way. Rhapsody of the Sears. I love it. Anyway, I know it's a typo, but I prefer Brilliance, no question about it. I love Brilliance of the Seas. Raymond says, Royal Caribbean's purchased a hotel in Freeport. Are there news for you? Here is some news for you. Thank you. We've known about that. They're actually waiting. Basically, at this point, we're waiting to get the official, like, it's sold. Hooray. There was actually a report from the Prime Minister is going to announce it soon. But I appreciate that, Raymond. Yes, that's exciting because Raymond's talking about the Grand Lucayan Resort in Freeport, Bahamas. That's part of a major project Royal Caribbean is going to undertake to not only incorporate that hotel into their offerings, but also redo, revitalize, amplify, expand the Freeport port area into a major port project. Think hotel meets Perfect Day Coco Key meets Epic Shore Excursion. It's going to be pretty cool. Keep an eye on it. I'll have more details about that, obviously, as we get them. But this was something that was announced pre-COVID, got delayed because of COVID, and now it looks like it's moving in the right direction. So very excited. But Patricia says, if the summer cruises happen from Florida, but they are more than 50 to 60% capacity, well, then Royal Caribbean asks people to opt out for the sailing. It's a good question, Patricia. We don't know yet. You know why? Because Royal Caribbean has never gone to that point. Every time they've announced a ship that will sail, like this summer, Patricia, they have canceled all the existing reservations and then redeployed the ship to get around that problem. So we don't know. Holy moly, Taiwo Lee coming in with the super chat. I'm doing the same thing he's doing here in the sticker. Woo, woo, woo. Thank you, Taiwo. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very generous of you. Queen Pete, have I ever sailed on an adventure before? I have not. I've sailed on our sister ships a lot, but this will be another checkbox off the Matt list right there. So very excited for that one. But no, I've never sailed on an adventure this season. I know my very good friend Josh Carruthers has, but I have not. Let's see. Dennis Armin says, will Air to Sea get me from the airport the day before my hotel, then the ship the next day? No, that's a transfer or taxi is what you're really asking for, Dennis. Air to Sea is simply just booking airfare. That's it. You can potentially book transfers through them. That's essentially what you're talking about. But if you're coming in at least a day ahead of time, your best bet is to just get a taxi from the hotel. So, Mr. Shadow says, Adventure of the Seas is fan-dang-tastic. Sailed on her many times. I mean, obviously, I love the Voyager class. I've been on Explorer of the Seas, Mariner of the Seas, and Navigator. So now that'll be going on an adventure. The only ship left in the class I have not sailed on will be Voyager of the Seas. But can't wait. Yes. Super excited for that. I always love when I get to, personally, as the cruise nerd I am, check off a new ship that I've not sailed on yet. That is always super exciting. Speaking of checking a box off, we have another super chat. Tony Diaz, what a guy. My very good friend, Mr. Diaz. You have a ship box to check off. I'm really sick now. Oh, thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. I promise not to rub it in too much. Okay, maybe I shouldn't promise things I can't keep, but oh, baby, we're going on a cruise this summer. Cruise summer hype, guys. This Saturday will be 6 weeks exactly. After 15 months of no cruises, I'm really excited. I can't wait. Which ships do I have yet to check off my list? Nathan, what's up, Nathan? Spectrum, Odyssey, obviously. Voyager of the Seas. Most of the Vision class. I've only been on Rhapsody, so Vision, Enchantment, Grandeur, Serenade, Radiance, Liberty. I've been on that one as well. Taiwo, does Royal Caribbean ships have wine sommelier on board? They do, yes. Usually you go to Vintages, Taiwo, and they can definitely help you with that. Absolutely. If not, in the main dining room, there's a sommelier as well, and they can help you pick out wines and whatnot. Ooh, Daniel, what is my dream cruise? Pick the room, ship, length, destination. It's a good question. I mean, I've always said I wanted to do something that, like, I would love a grand circle tour of the Caribbean. Western, Eastern, Southern. That would be amazing. But honestly, if I had to take one that's, like, actually exists, Panama Canal. That'd be the top of my list right now. Would love to do that one. Yeah, no, there's no Uber or Lyft in the Bahamas. I think it's by design, honestly. I don't think you're the first person, Mr. Shadow, to think about that. Amy Schultz says Australia needs to open cruising because we have virtually no cases. I can't believe you guys haven't, or you guys haven't. There has not been more travel. I mean, it's all relative, of course, because we look as Americans, we look at you guys in Australia as like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you guys haven't sailed yet, and that because you have no cases. And then I'm sure people in India look at the U.S. and be like, I can't believe you guys aren't doing anything because you have, your caseload is so much lower to ours. It's all relative, right? 12th Man Proud with another super chat. Wow. Just rejoined Patreon to directly support the blog. You can explain what that is. Well, first of all, my friend, thank you so much for your generosity. You're way too generous. I don't deserve it. But 12th Man's talking about the Royal Caribbean Blog Insider Program, where people can donate and join RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and you get to make a monthly donation. But it's all more information about that at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com/support. Thank you for the shameless plug and the amazing support here on YouTube, 12th Man. It really is incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Queepete says, this is my first time using Air to Sea. Yeah, it is so easy, right? I never used Air to Sea. I always avoided it. I was like, I don't know. And I love it because what I really love about Air to Sea is that you don't have to put any money down until final payment for your airfare. Final payment for your cruise. You don't have to put any money down for your airfare until final payment for your cruise. And I love that if your cruise is canceled by Royal Caribbean, you can get your money back for your airfare cash back instead of a credit or something like that. So yeah, I love that. Kelly Hardy votes for Panama Canal Group Cruise. I'm with you, Kelly. Listen, we're just waiting for them to announce one, and then I'll be down for that. Pam says, Panama Canal Group Cruise sounds inviting. You're invited. Absolutely. I would love to do Panama Canal. That'd be fantastic. I tell you, yes, they do. Royal Caribbean ships offer a sommelier in their in vintages. Usually, you can go to the vintages bar and they have it there. And if not, you can talk to the main dining room. They got one for you. No worries. The answer is yes, absolutely. So, Kenny K says, I booked while watching this, and Kelly has to hunt me down to pay. I think Kelly appreciates that. I think Kelly's willing to turn off the broadcast or minimize it in order to help you out there. Thank you for supporting our sponsor there, Kenny. Appreciate that. Yeah, Air to Sea. Got you. Air to Sea, not a cruise, but even so, that's a good problem for Kelly to have. I'm sure she appreciates that. So, very nice. I love it. All right, guys. On that note, we've been on for almost an hour. Epic support tonight. I got to say big thank yous to our super chatters tonight. 12th Man Proud, thank you for the super chat. Tony Diaz, thank you for the super chat. Taiwu Lee, thank you for the super chat. Mike Wolf, I still don't understand your super chat. You can explain to me. It's lyrics of something, but thank you for the super chat. 12th Man, again, thank you for the super chat. My goodness. Christine Lehrman, thanks for the... Lehrman? Hope I'm mispronouncing that. Thanks for the super chat. Kim Oakland, as always, Kim. Hugs and kisses. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate that. Katie Townsend, thank you for the super chat. Brandon Hilliard from Odyssey of the Seas, thank you for 2 super chats today. Jeff Leonard, thank you, buddy, for the super chat. Pam Curtis Davey, thank you. Sharon Stockman, thank you. Archie the Archie, thank you as always. Michael S., thank you. Josh Carruthers, I'll pay you back in Patron on Adventure. And Brandon, again, thank you for the super chat. Guys, we'll have some, first of all, there's a new blog post at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. I will have a new YouTube video out tomorrow. I think you're going to enjoy. Check that out. And we'll have, there's plenty more coverage and lots of good stuff waiting for you at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And hang on, we can't go anywhere because Teresa McChain, our good friend, is joining us in here, sliding in with the super chat. Teresa, thank you very much for the super chat. Late to the party. Listen, the party don't start till Teresa walks in. Am I right? Teresa, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Do appreciate it. It is good to see you. Listen, you're late to the video, but you got plenty to watch a little bit after this. So there's good news there. And we're still going. I need a drink of water. Cruise Addicts with the super chat. You think there'll be more redeployments for Miami due to all these crazy delays going on? I think Cruise Addicts, truthfully, expect the unexpected. Anything's possible at this point. You never know. So, the later the party, the better the guests. You're not wrong on that. What's in it's water. Trust me. If I was really drinking, I don't know. Well, there will definitely be live. Listen, when I'm on Adventure of the Seas, I can't promise I'll be only drinking water when I'm talking to you guys on there, right? But when I'm here, I'm in the studio. We're doing work, keeping it real with you guys with some water. Don't read. Close the stream. Night. Thank you, Kenny. I'm reading it anyway. I was explaining that I'm not drinking alcohol, but thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Amy Henderson just booked another cruise today. 4th time's the charm. Christine Del Rossi is here. Hello, Christine. Good night. We'll chat tomorrow on Facebook Live. Yes, full disclosure, Christine. I'm telling you this because I value you above many others. I'm getting my second COVID shot tomorrow at noon. I hope to be feeling fine for it, but just FYI, there's always that possibility out there. So, hey, Sophie Burns. Wow, long time no see. Good to see you, Sophie. Unfortunately, I'm wrapping things up, but thank you for joining me here, Sophie. Hope you all have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. That's important as well. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.